ओम ज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वरूपं तदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सगन्धगुणात्मकं सजीवं साधुवेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदां ललिता श्रीविशाखाभूतं च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी के नाम नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पार्षदेक्षताने एक करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपेकांत राधा कांत नमस्ते सप्त कंचन गौरांगी श्री वृंदावनेश्वरी कृष्णसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय पंचकल्पतरुभ्यः कृपा सिंधुवे पतितनां पावने गगननिधि नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसति गौर भक्तिवेदांता हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगत विष्णु भगवान की जय। शेयरिंग माय स्क्रीन।
So people are embarrassed by being entangled in avidya, ignorance, and the method by which to educate them and rescue them from the clutches of this ignorance is devotional service. As explained by Shukadev Goswami, one may chant the name of Krishna or meditate upon Krishna, or if one cannot meditate, one can simply sit down and see Krishna. Even a child can see, here is Krishna, here is Radharani. Even a small child or even an animal can do this and benefit. Or if one is more intelligent, one may offer prayers. And if one is expert and has been trained by a spiritual master, one may perform appropriate worship. Hare Krishna.
मेघना माता जी।
Hare Krishna. Christians and Muslims are also Vaishnavas, devotees, because they offer prayers to the Lord. Oh God, they say, give us our daily bread. Those who offer this prayer may not know very much and may be at a lower stage, but this is a beginning because they have approached God. Going to a church or mosque is also pious. Chatur Vidha Bhajante Mam Sarna Sukrinto Arjuna. Therefore, who begins in this way will one day become pure Vaishnava. But the atheistic propaganda that one should not go to church, temple, or mosque is very dangerous to human society.
One may not be very advanced, but one should try at least to do something to understand God. A child is sent to school, and although he may simply learn ABCD, if he is interested, he may one day become a very good scholar. Similarly, one day a pious man may become a pure devotee. Why should one give up religion altogether? Become become completely secular and simply open a factory in which to manufacture nuts and bolts and work hard and drink and eat meat. What kind of civilization is this? It is because of this so-called civilization that people are suffering.
It is by ignorance that people think that by opening factories they will be happy. Why should they open factories? There is no need. There is so much land and one can produce one's own food grains and eat sumptuously without any factory. Milk is also available without a factory. The factory cannot produce milk or grains. The present scarcity of food in the world is largely due to such factories. When everyone is working in the city to produce nuts and bolts, who will produce food grains? Simple living and high thinking is a solution to economic problems. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is in engaging devotees in producing their own food and living less sufficiently so that the rascal may see how one can live very peacefully, eat the food grains and has grown oneself, drink milk and chant Hare Krishna.
The process of Krishna consciousness should be very vigorously propagated all over the world. Simply by seeing the deity or simply by joining in chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, people will derive tremendous benefit. If one performs kirtan chanting, one will be able to think of Krishna. One may think, I danced for 2 hours and chanted Hare Krishna. What is the meaning of this? This is Smaran, thinking of Krishna. One may think, I foolishly chanted Krishna Krishna for 2 hours. But that is also Smaran. Because the Krishna consciousness movement is spreading, people are purchasing our books about Krishna. Because they are curious, they say, what is this Krishna? Let us see the book. Then they immediately see a picture of Radha and Krishna, and if they open the book, they will see more. In the book, there are many prayers glorifying Krishna, so some will hear about Krishna and others will read. And if they are fortunate enough, they will become Krishna conscious and engaged in the worship of the deity. These methods of devotional service, sharing, chanting, remembering Krishna, and so on, are so perfect that as soon as one takes to them, either all of them, some of them, or even one of them, please scroll, one becomes purified. Therefore, Shukadev Goswami's praise. I offer my worship to the Supreme Personality of Godhead for simply by remembering me, simply by glorifying Him, or simply by seeing Him. So many benefits follow. Hare Krishna.
Sukadev Goswami is one of the 12th important spiritual authorities, and these are the authorities we must follow. Mahajano yena gata sa pati pantaha. He affirms that by performing the methods by devotional service, one will be cleansed of material contamination when sadaha immediately without waiting. This is the great benefit of the Krishna consciousness movement. Hare Krishna.
So moving to the next chapter 19, crossing beyond illusions current. Yes, so this we should prove. Okay. Shanvanti, Gayanti, Garnanti, Abhikshna Saha, Samaranti, Nandanti, Savehitam Gyanaha, Ta Eva Pasyanti, Achirana Tavakam, Bhava Pravaho, Paramamam, Padam Bhujam. O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 1.8.36. The Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, cannot be seen by our present conditional vision. In order to see him, one has to change his present vision by developing a different conditions of life full of spontaneous love of Godhead. When Sri Krishna was personally present on the face of the globe, not everyone could see him as a supreme personality of Godhead. Materialists like Ravana, Hiranyakashipa, Kans, Jarasan, and Shishupal were highly qualified personalities by acquisition of material assets, but they were unable to appreciate the presence of the Lord. Therefore, even though the Lord may not be present before our eyes, it is not possible to see him unless we have the necessary vision. This necessary qualification is developed by the process of devotional service only, beginning with hearing about the Lord from the right sources. The Bhagavad Gita is one of the popular literatures which are generally heard, chanted, repeated, etc. by the people in general. But in spite of such hearing, etc., sometimes it is experienced that the performer of such devotional service does not see the Lord face to face. The reason is that the first item, Shravana, is very important. If hearing is from right sources, it acts very quickly. Generally, people hear from unauthorized persons. Such unauthorized person may be very learned by academic qualification, but because they do not follow the principle of devotional service, hearing from them becomes a sheer waste of time. Sometimes the texts are interpreted fashionably to suit their own purposes. Therefore, first one should select a competent and bona fide speaker and then hear from him. When the hearing process is perfect and complete, the other process become automatically perfect in their own way. Yes, so Prabhuji.
There are different transcendental activities of the Lord, and each and every one of them is competent to bestow the desired result. provided the hearing process is perfect. In the Bhagavatam, the activities of Lord begin from his dealing with the Pandavas. There are many other pastimes of the Lord in connection with his dealings with the Asura and other. And in the 10th canto, the sublime dealings with his conjugal associates, the gopis, as well as with his married wives at Dwarka are mentioned. Since the Lord is absolute, there is no difference in the transcendental nature of each and every dealing of the Lord. But sometimes people in an unauthorized hearing process take more interest in hearing about his dealings with the gopis. Such an inclination indicates the lusty feelings of the hearer. So a bona fide speaker of the dealing of the Lord never indulges in such hearing. One must hear about the Lord from the very beginning, as in the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other scriptures, and that will help the hearer attain the perfection by progressive development. One should not therefore consider that his dealings with the Pandavas are less important than dealings with the gopis. He must always remember that the God is always transcendental to all mundane attachments. In, in all the above mentioned dealings of the Lord, he is the hero in all the circumstances, and hearing about him or his devotees or com- combatants is conducive to the spiritual life. It is said that the Vedas and Puranas, etc., are all made to receive our lost relation with him. Hearing of all those scriptures is very essential.
Yes. Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In the previous verses, Kunti Devi has explained that those who have come to this material world are working very hard, like asses, and have such a hard burden that they cannot bear it, because their lusty desires have created heavy work that puts them always in trouble. Krishna comes to introduce the system by which one can get relief from this continuously troublesome life.
Kanak. You there?
Religion consists of the laws of God. People who do not know this think that religion means faith. But although you may have faith in something, and I may have faith in something, and although I may believe you, and you may or may not believe me, that is not religion. There is even a supposedly religious mission that says you can manufacture your own way. Yata mata tata pata. Whatever you think is right, that is right. That this is their philosophy. But that is not science. Suppose I am a madman. Is whatever I think all right? How could this be? 2 plus 2 equals 4 is science. If I believe that 2 plus 2 equals 5 or 3, does it becomes true? No. So these there are laws of God. And when there is dharmasya, glani, deviation from these laws, we suffer. Just as we think might suffer by violating the laws of the state. As soon as we violate the laws of state, we are subjected to so many tribulations. Hare Krishna.
Now, now how we to get free from these tribulations? Krishna comes to free us from them by giving us bhakti yoga. Krishna recommends do this, or if we do it, we shall get relief. Prahlada Maharaj mentions that this bhakti yoga consists of 9 items: Sarvananam, Kirtanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smraran, Padana, Sevana, Akaranam,
Acharan.
Vandanam,
Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam.
Iti Pam Sarpita, Vaishnu, Bhakti ke Nava Laksana, Kirtiya, Bhagativati, Adha, Tanmanye, Ditam, Uttamam. Hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of the Lord Vishnu, remembering them and serving the serving the lotus feet of the God, offering the Lord respectful worship, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming His servant, considering the Lord one of the best friends, and surrendering everything onto Him. In other words, serving Him with the body, mind, and words. These nine processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One has to dedicate his life to the service of Krishna. Through these nine methods should be understood to the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Bhagavad 7.5.23 24. Hare Krishna.
Hearing means hearing about someone's activities, form qualities, and torch, and so on. If I want to hear about someone, he must have some activities. If we hear about history, and what is history? It is but the record of the activities of different persons in different ages. As soon as there is a question of hearing, we must ask what subject matter we should hear about. Sarvanam Kirtanam Vishnu. We should hear about the activities of Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, not about the news in the newspaper. Brahma Jigyasa. We should inquire and hear about Brahma, the Supreme. These are the sentiments of the Vedas, statements of the Vedas. In our Krishna consciousness moment, we also hear and chant, but what is the subject matter? The subject matter is Krishna. We are not hearing about market reports and the price of this share or that share. No, we are hearing about Krishna.
And when there is hearing, there must also be speaking or chanting. So we speak and chant about Krishna, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho. And as soon as one becomes expert in the hearing and chanting, the next stage is Samranam, thinking or meditation. Whatever we speak or hear, we shall later contemplate or meditate upon. First, one must begin with the Shravanam, hearing. Otherwise, how can there be meditation? If one does not know the subject matter of meditation, where is the question of meditation? Therefore, there must be hearing and chanting about Lord Vishnu. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu.
Actual meditation in yoga aims at seeing the four-armed Vishnu Murti, which is in the form of Lord within the heart. That is real meditation. Now, rascals have manufactured other methods they call meditation, but these are not actually meditation. The senses are very restless, going this way and that way with the mind. But by the Ashtanga Yoga system, which regulates one's sitting posture, one's breath, and so on, one can control the senses and concentrate the mind on the form of Vishnu. This concentration is called samadhi, and it is the real goal of life. Thus, the Ashtanga Yoga system aims at coming to the point of smaranam or remembering the Supreme Lord.
The next process of devotional service is ashram, worship of the deity. The form of Krishna in the temple, Shri Vigraha Dharmana Nityanana Smagra Tan Mandira
Shingarata,
Marjanadav
Marjan.
Shri Guru Ashtka 3. It is not that one should worship Krishna once a week or once a month, rather, one should worship Krishna 24 hours a day, Nitya. The deity should have a new dress every day, or twice, or 4 times a day, as many times as possible. This is called Sragra. Krishna
Shingar.
is the most opulent, sorry,
This is called Shingar.
Shringar. Krishna is the most opulent enjoyer, and we should supply him things by which he can enjoy. For instance, if someone gives me new clothing, I say, "Oh, this new clothing is very nice, and this is my enjoyment." Similarly, we should try to satisfy Krishna every day with gorgeous clothing. The dress for the deity should be first class. The food offered to him must be first class. And the place where he situated in the temple must be first class, or even more than first class. Furthermore, the temple should always be as clean as glass. Everyone remarks that the temples of the Krishna consciousness movements are very clean, and they must be very clean. The more one cleans the temple, the more one's heart become cleansed. This is the process of devotional service. The more we dress Krishna, the more satisfied we become. At the present moment, we are accustomed to seeing and appreciating our own clothing. I think what costly clothing I have, and in this way I am become satisfied. But when we dress Krishna, we shall feel spiritual satisfaction. Hare Krishna.
युक्तस्य भक्तंश्च नियोजितो pi vande guru Shri Charanaravandan. This is the duty of the spiritual master to engage his disciples always in worshiping the deity in this way. And this is it is to such a guru or a spiritual master that we offer our obeisance.
By the word Shravanti, Sharvanti, Kunti Devi indicates that our first concern should be to first hear about Krishna. One must be eager to hear. Why do we pay a college fees and go to college? To hear. By sitting down and hearing from the knowledge. Therefore, a devotee always engages in hearing about Krishna. For those who are cultivating Krishna consciousness, the first business is hearing.
And if one has actually heard about Krishna, one's engagement in Bhakti Yoga will be to chant Gayanti. The preachers of the Krishna consciousness movement go from town to town, village to village. Why? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? To preach, to chant, so that people may get the opportunity to hear this philosophy and take it seriously. Prananti. The word abhikshanasaha indicate that these engagements should go on continuously, 24 hours a day without stopping. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore recommends Kirtanaya Sada Hari. One should engage in chanting 24 hours a day. That is the business of Krishna conscious devotees.
One may perform all the methods of devotional service or may accept only one. Simply hearing is enough. Parikshit Maharaj did not do anything else but sit down before Shukadev Goswami and hear for the last 7 days of his life. If one simply hears without doing anything else, if one simply sits down in the temple and whenever there is a talk of Bhagavad Gita, one goes on hearing, that will be enough. Even if you do not understand, please hear. The vibration, the mantra will help you. Grammatical or scholarly understanding is not very important. One may not know Sanskrit grammar, but bhakti is aparitihata, unimpedable, unimpedable. Nothing can check the progress of bhakti. Therefore, one should simply adopt this process of hearing as recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order of life, he was criticized by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who had been a school friend of Nilambara Chakravarti, the father-in-law of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's father, Jagannath Mishra. By this relationship, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was on the level of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grandfather. Thus he said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "You are a boy, only 24 years old, and now you have taken sannyas. Sannyas is very difficult to keep because for a young man, the world has so many attractions. So you should hear Vedanta Sutra." Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya belonged to the Mayavad school, and this indicates that hearing is very important even among the Mayavadis, who stress this importance of hearing Vedanta Sutra. The Vaishnavas, the devotees of Krishna, also hear Vedanta Sutra, but not from the Mayavadis who falsely interpret it and spoil the process of hearing. The Vaishnavas actually hear Vedanta Sutra because they do not uh, interpret it. When Krishna says, "I am the supreme," the Vaishnavas accept it. And this is the proper way of hearing. If one speculatively interprets the Vedanta Sutra or Bhagavad Gita saying, the word Krishna means this, and Kurukshetra means that, one is simply wasting one's time. One should hear this literature as it is. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so it's 7:26. We can stop and start with the learning realizations or comments. Yes, if anyone. Anyone want to share something? Some
क्योंकि वो एनालॉजी बहुत अच्छी थी इसमें, जब प्रभुपाद बता रहे थे कॉलेज की, जब हम फीस देने जाते हैं, हम करते हैं फीस में, अपार्ट फ्रॉम any mode of learning, we focus on hearing the lectures and hearing the subject matter which is concerned, whichever is concerned in the college. This is how it was also working in devotional life, that we have to hear more and more. और जिस तरीके से स्ट्रेस कर रहे थे प्रभुपाद, तो वही इंडिकेट आता है कि whether you are advanced devotee or neophyte devotee, you have to hear. Hearing is the most recommended method to get advanced in spiritual life. ऐसे ही प्रभुपाद वही बता रहे थे कि devotees मतलब जिसने स्टार्ट कर दिया, who started believing in the process, so eventually he will become advanced, but one have to start first. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you Prabhuji, amazing point. Anyone want to add?
एंड ऑल्सो इसी में ऐड करना चाहूंगी,
Yes.
सब लोग बोलते हैं कि बहुत ज्यादा तो आप लोग के बहुत रूल्स होते हैं, ये होते हैं, वो होते हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। आप सिर्फ सिंपली सुनकर भी एक मतलब जैसे परीक्षित महाराज ने भी 7 days में सुन के अक्षय मतलब वो भी भगवत धाम को लौट गए थे। तो मतलब जरूरी नहीं है कि आप बिल्कुल वही जो चीज बोल रहे मतलब जो पूरा हर चीज फॉलो करो, नहीं, सुन लो बैठ के, अगर सिर्फ मंदिर में बैठ के सुनी भी रहे हो तब भी आपका एडवांसमेंट होगा।
हाँ मतलब
hearing is the most purest form.
इनिशियली दिस कैन वर्क, मतलब स्टार्टिंग में अगर कोई से जैसे चीजें नहीं कर पा रहा कि देयर लॉट्स ऑफ मतलब उसके अंदर चीजें हैं, कंडीशंस हैं, तो उसके लिए ये है कि हाँ इनिशियली बिल्कुल स्टार्टिंग में वो है मतलब ही और शी शुड स्टार्ट श्रवणम एटलीस्ट, तो उसमें कोई फॉल्ट नहीं है, उसमें कोई पाप नहीं है। बट हाँ लेटर ऑन वी शुड फॉलो द प्रिंसिपल्स, और जो भी भक्ति दे रखी है, भक्ति प्रोसेस दे रखा है, मतलब ऐसा मुझे लगता है। यस, हेयरिंग इज इम्पोर्टेंट, मतलब वो श्रवणम सबसे पहले है, तो बाद उससे बहुत यस, थैंक यू। एनीवन वांट्स टू ऐड? तो एक पॉइंट मेरे को भी अच्छा लगा इसमें, मतलब काफी सारी पॉइंट्स है, मतलब एक उसमें प्रभुपाद बताया कि मतलब जैसे रावण था, हिरण्यकश्यप था, हिरण्यकक्ष और भी थे, शिशुपाल, जरासंध, कि उनके सामने भी भगवान थे, बट वो भगवान को एज अ भगवान परसीव नहीं कर पा रहे थे। तो इसलिए कभी कभी हम लोग कहते हैं अरे भगवान हमें दिख जाए तो हम तर जाएंगे, या फिर भगवान हमें भगवान हमारे साथ क्यों नहीं रहते। तो वो है कि अगर भगवान हमारे साथ भी आ जाएंगे ना, तब भी हम उन्हें परसीव नहीं कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि उसके लिए क्वालिफिकेशन चाहिए। अगर अगर वो क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं है तो फिर भगवान सामने भी आ जाएंगे तो हम उन्हें भगवान कंसिडर ही नहीं करेंगे। तो यस, क्वालिफिकेशन इज इम्पोर्टेंट। और क्वालिफिकेशन कैसे आएगी, तो उसमें भक्ति का प्रोसेस बताया इसमें प्रभुपाद ने कि इसमें 9 पिलर्स होते हैं भक्ति प्रोसेस के। इसमें श्रवणम, कीर्तनम जैसे बता रहे थे, उनकी डीटीज की वर्शिप करना और सरेंडर करना। और उसमें डीटी वर्शिप का तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस दे रहे थे प्रभुपाद की, डीटी वर्शिप हमें रेगुलर करना चाहिए। और भगवान की वर्शिप हमें ऐसे नहीं कि एक हफ्ते में, एक महीने में एक बार 24 आवर्स करना चाहिए, नित्य बता रहे थे। तो ये
उनको ड्रेस करना चाहिए डेली, बहुत प्योर फॉर्म है ये सब, मतलब बहुत अच्छा लगा ये सब सुन के। और जैसे कि हम लोग ने कृष्ण बुक में पढ़ा ही है कि कंस भी बड़े मतलब उच्च परिवार के होने के बाद भी असुरों की उसमें रह गए थे, मतलब क्योंकि उनकी संगति ऐसी थी। और मतलब जब तक हमारी संगति हमारे को, हम लोग सर्वनम कीर्तन नहीं करेंगे, हम लोग नहीं जानेंगे, तब अगर हम लोग उच्च परिवार के भी होंगे या फिर हम किसी भी चीज के होंगे, हम लोग एडवांसमेंट में नहीं जा सकते। तो कीर्तन करना मतलब बहुत बहुत प्योर है और बहुत अच्छी फॉर्म में एडवांसमेंट स्टार्ट करने के लिए एटलीस्ट.
Yes, yes. Oh, anyone wants to add? Okay, so we can stop here. वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यः च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जगद्गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद. Thank you for joining.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.